On this episode of Roadside Rescue, we have a customer that's in need of some pretty serious help. They're in a pretty bad spot and they're actually getting evicted from their house on Friday because the house that they are renting was sold. A few weeks ago, their only car, the water pump, started leaking, and a friend actually lent them a van that they could drive around for a few weeks before they were evicted from their house. Only this van actually had some problems last night, and this is the only way they can get to work, so they need help ASAP. This family has some small children. I'm gonna see if I can help them out as fast and this as good as possible. The channel members support videos like this in instances where I feel like we can really help somebody out. They said that their vehicle had been making noise, but it wasn't too bad. They said it had been making noise for about 3 days, and that last night they were driving this van and it was making a sound like the tire was screeching for about 2 blocks. So they parked it underneath some trees, and they said it looked like one of the tires wasn't spinning, and you could see like how the tire was being dragged across the pavement. To see if I can even figure out what's going on with this, and hopefully I can figure it out, and then if I can do that, hopefully we can get it back on the road for them so that they can go to work tomorrow and figure everything out before Friday. No other shop could get out here. They all had like a 2-week wait, and they wanted to make the vehicle towed in there, and it was like a minimum of $200 to have it towed and have a diagnosis. So I think hopefully we can get them settled with less than that total, but I've got to see if I can figure it out first. Hopefully it's nothing serious. Alright, so here we are, we found it. There are definitely tire marks. Well, one, you can actually see it right there behind that tire closest to us, and it goes 2 blocks away, so I'm going to see what that's about, but I know it's at this tire at least.
Nice shady spot. That's all there's left to do is get started. Alright, so we've got this set up. I'm just going to jack it up real quick.
Well, as soon as I got this tire off, it was pretty obvious what the issue was.
This episode is sponsored by this heavy-duty portable air compressor, up to 150 psi. If this looks like something you're interested in, check out the link in the discount in the description and the pinned comment. Let's check it out. This air compressor is like the perfect size to put in your Jeep or 4x4 vehicle when you're going off-roading. Up to 150 psi. You're not going to need more than that probably anywhere. These truck tires here run on 85 psi, so that's what I'm excited to test. All right, I'll just tell you at normal volume here so you can hear the difference. This compressor is really quiet. And it's filling this tire up rather quickly.
So something else I like about this air compressor is that on the bottom plate, you can screw it into something. So I'm actually gonna mount it in my truck. That way when I'm driving around, it doesn't bounce around. But this is like the perfect size air compressor since I don't use air tools all the time. But occasionally I want something that I can use with compressed air. So to have a small tank in this that can recharge it occasionally, I think this is gonna be the perfect setup.
Well, this air compressor is real heavy duty. I'm going to be putting it on my big truck here, and I'm probably going to hook it up to some tank and an air line that's going to hook up to the outside. Again, if this interests you, check out the link in the description and the pinned comment. Pad was just worn all the way down, and that's pushed up against the rotor and seized the tire. Basically, I should be able to pinch this line back here, get the pin pushed back off there, and put the tire back on, and we can move it. And if with the line pinched off, we're not leaking, and we're not going to push that pin all the way back into the rotor. We should be able to get it back to my place.
At this point, I was just trying to figure out the easiest way to get this thing moving. I knew that the part wasn't in stock and we would have to wait a few hours, so I was going to go ahead and take this home, and I was wondering whether I should take the rotor out or just try and push this caliper pin in.
Cool, I was hoping this wasn't going to be too hard to deal with, and it looks like it's not going to be terribly difficult to deal with. Just a few taps with the screwdriver was already getting this pin to kind of get its tension off there. So if I can get that to push back in now with a flathead screwdriver, then that should be just fine. Good. That should be fine. Let me just put these close together. Okay, and then open this bleeder valve here. Let's see if I can get that pushed in now. All right, so here's the bleed valve. And that should let us, it's a good sign that's not dripping now. I've got that line pinched off. Normally I don't pinch lines like that if I don't have to. This is a little bit of a weird circumstance. We're pumping out of there when I hit that. Most of the time I'll just take one off. But as you can see there, sometimes gotta take both. After smacking on this for just a second, I realized it needed to be twisted in. So instead of dealing with that right now, we'll just take this other pad out and twist it in just a little so that it doesn't fall out by itself. But we'll be done with that. I just won't be touching that rotor on this side. Furthest wheel away, and our top speed's about 30 miles an hour on the way there. We may go slower if we want to. Basically, we'll just be disengaging this brake back here. Okay. Just readjust this clamp and then get this moved out of here. All right, there we go. No issues. We're here. Okay, so here's a look at that rotor now that we got back here. You can see that pad was stuck pretty good right there. All the rust here, but we didn't have any issues getting that back over here. You can see that caliper pin there itself stayed in quite a ways, and I just took those bolts out.
It got super hot in the afternoon and the GoPro actually overheated, but as you can see, we've got the new rotor on there and the new caliper, and we've got new brake pads in there as well. So we actually changed the brake pads on the other side, but the rotor on the other side was fine, and due to the circumstances, we're not going to replace that rotor right now. But you guys are going to love to hear this. We saved them a ton of money. We got their vehicle working for them so they could go to work the next day. And the little kids wrote me some nice little notes, and they gave me these yummy little candies. So it was an awesome day, and I'm super happy we were able to get this car back on the road. Now about the rotor on the other side. So hopefully you guys can understand, but maybe next time, if we have more channel members, then we could maybe get them another rotor. But obviously no promises. That's just something that if it sounds like you might be interested in, obviously the more people we have, the more they can help. Or if you're interested in helping other ways, check out the links in the description. You can donate there or just help me take my wife out to dinner. At the very least, a subscribe means so much to me. Thanks for watching the videos. It means a ton. I look forward to seeing you on the next one, and that's a job well done.